Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I've got a hugely topical video for you guys today, and of course the big news in the watch world this week has been Tudor's release of their new Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue, model number 79030B. Now before I move on with my video, I'm going to do a quick wristwatch check, and of course I'm wearing my Rolex Submariner day. Now swiftly moving on, as you may know, the hype around the new Black Bay has been unreal. I, for one, have been seeing all kinds of Insta stories and news about this watch and its release plastered on my Instagram. So, everyone seems to be really interested in this watch. And in fact, I've been getting one or two questions about it myself. One such question from my subscriber, Uma Bucks, who asked me, what's my take on the new Black Bay 58 Blue? Now, my original reply was, I need to do some research because I had to have a look and see what is it about this watch that makes it so special and so desirable to those in the watch world at the moment. So I think the best way to give you my take on what I think of the new watch is to compare it with the watch I already own, which is the Harrods Tudor Special Edition. And I'm going to do a best of 5 shootout, focusing on things I look for in a watch and give you my opinion at the end as to which watch I would choose if I was buying them both for the first time. Now, the criteria I'm going to use to compare each watch will be the following 5 things. The first thing I'm going to compare is 1, the exclusivity of the watch. And by this I mean, how easy is the watch to get hold of? The second thing I'm going to compare is the uniqueness of the design, or design features within the watch that, in my opinion, make the watch more valuable and more desirable. The third thing I'm going to compare is the dial size of each watch, and what dial size I feel most suits the way I wear a watch in my day-to-day. The fourth thing I'm going to compare is one aspect of each watch history and which aspect appeals to me most out of the two. The fifth and final comparison I'm going to make between the two watches are the watches' respective movements and also their retail price. So let's move on to my first point. And the first thing I want to discuss is exclusivity of the watch itself. So at release of the new Black Bay 58, Tudor themselves have said this watch is available across their network of Tudor stores. This leads me to believe it's widely available compared to the Harrods Tudor Special Edition, which you can only buy at Harrods, and that's one Harrods store in London. Also, there is an 8-month waiting list for this Harrods Tudor Special Edition. If one watch is available at a whole network of stores, it's likely to be more in circulation than a watch that's only available at one store. So from that perspective, clearly the Harrods Tudor Black Bay Special Edition is the most exclusive watch of the two and therefore wins this round, and is currently in the lead 1-0 compared to the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. The second thing I'll now compare between the two watches are each respective watch uniqueness of design and give you my opinion on which one I think wins this particular round. Now, the new Black Bay 58 has a stunning blue colourway with lovely white snowflake hands. And as customary for Tudor watches, you can find the highest quality finish that you will see for watches within this price range. The Black Bay 58 Blue also has another feature that I very much like, and that's its moulded crown. So rather than, printed or engraved detail on the crown, it's got a moulded crown with the detailing on there, which I just think is really, really nice. It's a really nice touch. However, when compared to the Harrods Tudor Special Edition, there are a number of important details and unique details that the Black Bay 58 does not have that the Harrods Tudor has. So for example, the Harrods Tudor has a gold and cream colourway for its snowflake hands. However, if you take a closer look at the second hand of the Harrods Tudor, you'll see that it has a gold and green colourway unique to that watch, and is also significant because it represents the Harrods green. And with this, it's not only a fantastic tribute to the partnership between Tudor watches and Harrods, but also that means you're connected with the iconic nature and history of Harrods every time you look at this watch or see it or wear it. The second thing I'd like to discuss about the design of the two watches is that when you look at the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue and the Harrods Tudor Special Edition, you'll notice that the Harrods Tudor Special Edition has one extra unique design quirk in it, which you will not see in a Black Bay 58, and that being the depth measurements, i.e. 660 feet comes before the 200 meters in the Harrods Tudor, whereas on the Black Bay 58 Blue, the measurement of 200 meters comes before the measurement of 660 feet. Now this quirk is unique to the Harrods Tudor Special Edition, as it's meant to represent the Britishness of the watch given its association with Harrods. So this quirk of a design is a very interesting story that's built into the very fabric of the watch itself. There is one final notable difference when comparing the Harrods Tudor Special Edition with the new Black Bay 58 Blue. If you turn the watch around, you will see the Harrods Tudor has the imprint Special Edition plus the Harrods logo on the back of the case, and will also have the production run number, which I have actually covered just for security reasons. But these are all features you won't see on the new Black Bay 58 Blue, and adds to the uniqueness of design that you see on the Harrods Tudor here today. Therefore, given the above facts that I've just mentioned, again, in my view, the Harrods Tudor Special Edition wins this round and is now leading 2-0 compared to their Black Bay 58 Blue. This brings me to the third thing I'd like to compare when looking at the design features of both watches. Now, the dial of the Black Bay 58 Blue is 39mm, which is a nice size to wear on your wrist, but in my view I feel it's slightly smaller than watches that I normally wear. However, many would disagree, and in fact the size isn't bad at all and is a size that I would feel comfortable wearing even if it's not my first choice. Now, moving on to the Harrods Tudor Special Edition. This watch has a 41mm dial and is certainly more in line with the size of watches I've been wearing, given that my Rolex is 40mm and this is 41. However, the 41mm dial, as mentioned in my previous review video of the Harrods Tudor Special Edition, means that it does have a slightly bigger wrist real estate compared to what I would see in my Rolex, and therefore perhaps even more compared to the Black Bay 58 Blue, which of course I've not worn yet, so I can't really do the comparison. However, if I just show you what my Rolex looks like on my wrist and compare it to what the Harrods Tudor looks like on my wrist, you will see that the Harrods Tudor is slightly bigger, and in my opinion the Black Bay 58 has a wrist real estate much more similar to that of the Rolex Submariner, and the Rolex Submariner looks really nice and elegant on the wrist. I don't think you'd have any complaints with both. So in this particular round, although I have a slight preference for the 41mm dial, I have to say it's a tie. So currently the Harrods Tudor Special Edition leads this comparison 3-1. Given that this is the best of 5, the Harrods Tudor Special Edition would be the watch that I picked. But there are a number of other points that I do want to raise before concluding my video today. Now, the fourth thing I'm going to compare is what the watch means for me in terms of its iconic nature and history behind why it looks the way it does, but just a very brief point, so it's not going to be in a lot of detail. So starting with the Tudor Black Bay 58, it looks as if the blue colourway is a throwback to when Tudor released the first Tudor Submariner, which also had a blue colourway back in 1969. And no doubt, while this is an interesting piece of history to do the watch, it's not something that is particularly compelling for me. So it's not something that would sway my decision as to whether to buy the watch or not. However, when looking at the Harrods Tudor Black Bay Special Edition, its green and black colourway straight away reminds me of the Rolex Kermit, the historic watch that was released in 2003 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Rolex Submariner. Now, back in 2003, there was no way I was able to afford a Rolex Submariner. But fast forward to 2020, the Harrods Tudor Black Bay Special Edition with its Harrods green and black colourway is the closest thing I can have to represent this iconic watch. Therefore, in my opinion, the Harrods Tudor Special Edition also wins this round 1-0. So clearly the Harrods Tudor for me is the undisputed winner in this particular battle. However, there is still one thing that I'd like to compare. And the fifth and final thing I'm going to compare when looking at these watches is twofold, and that being the movements in both watch and the respective price of each watch. So looking at the two watches, both have in-house movements. The new Black Bay 58 Blue has a 5402 movement inside the case, and the Harrods Tudor has the 5602 movement inside it. These are both automatic movements and both have a fantastic power reserve of 70 hours. So from the end user perspective, there's not much difference between the performance of the two movements. Now this brings me on to the price of both watches, and from what I can see, they are both available for a price of around £2,700 to £2,800. Again, not much difference between the two from an end user perspective. Therefore, when comparing both watches for this round, it's a score draw, as I can't really separate the two. So in conclusion, with a score of 5-2, the Harrods Tudor is a clear winner and gets my vote for the watch I choose if I had the choice between the two. However, the reasons I've given for why I would choose the Harrods Tudor Special Edition over the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue are completely personal to me and have no bearing on what you or anyone else would look for in a watch. Now this goes back to something I said a few videos back, where I said if you're looking to buy a watch, the most important thing should be, do you really love this watch? Is this a watch that you see yourself having for a long time, especially when you're paying sums of £2,000 and above? Yes, it's really nice to have an investment piece, but that shouldn't be the only driver as to why you buy a watch. Because even if you buy this watch and it doesn't go up in value, this should be a watch that you're happy with. So whether it's the new Black Bay 58 Blue that you're looking to buy or the Harrods Tudor, you buy the watch that you like the most, as ultimately that's the watch you'll be most happy with. That's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.